So today we'll go through how we can create some data with some relationships defined between them. So here we're going to create a CSV data source, and we're just going to keep everything as defaults and create that. And then we're going to join that with a JSON data source. So here you can see us use the defaults again and create it again. So you can see us find our my CSV and my JSON defined there. So we'll go back to the home and create our plan. So here we'll give the plan name, and we'll just create some task name as well, where we're going to create our CSV file. So you can see that this has got the settings we want, and we'll create it with an account ID. We'll make this a string, and we'll make it follow a particular regex. So here we'll make it start with AC and have an 8-digit number. So that should be all good. Then we'll create another field, let's call it open date, and this will be of type date. Won't need anything else. Then we'll have some other field, let's say name. We'll make it look like a real name, so we'll use Faker for that. We'll use the name.name, and we'll just generate 10 fields, 10 records I should say, so that we can just see the relationship between the two sources. So we create the JSON as well, which is a new task, and we also want to generate data for this JSON file. So we'll also have an account ID, but maybe this JSON has a different name of the date field. Maybe it's just called date. So this guy will also be of type date, and we'll just add in another field just to show the differences. And we'll just make sure this guy generates 10 records as well. So now we can define our relationship between the two data sources. So here we click our CSV task, and we put in the columns account ID and open date. So we can see that we have account ID and open date. And then as part of our generation, we want to generate a relationship with the JSON task, where we're using columns account ID and date. So this, columns can have different names because, different data sources can have different names for different columns. But the way data Caterer works is we don't really care what the names are. We've just defined a relationship that says, account ID and open date is related with account ID and date. So the two sets of records generated across the data sources should have the same account IDs generated and the same date values generated. So you can see here the job is done now. It's generated some data. So we can see that there's this AC 579, let's zoom in, 579,59167, and it has some date. So let's check whether that exists in the CSV. So we can see there it has the same account and it has the same date value. And let's just check one more account. We can see it in the CSV and it has the same date. So great.